Hi everyone, it's Brian with Enjoying Life on Oahu. I'm also a real estate agent here on the island. And I'm making this video today because a pretty common phone call I received from people is them inquiring about vacation rental properties here on Oahu, as well as sometimes the neighboring islands. And just recently, the mayor of Honolulu signed a bill called Bill 41 that drastically changes the rental market here. So I want to give you an overview and just bring this all to your attention. And just to preface is that vacation rentals is a pretty tricky subject here in Hawaii. There's a lot of different opinions. I'm not going to share my opinion because it's not relevant. I will state though is that some of the issues and problems that Bill 41 was written to address, there are already laws on the books to address these problems, that they were just not being enforced. So the fact that the government's now creating additional laws to try to fix these problems, I don't know how productive it's going to be. Time will tell. And I can definitely send you an update video as things progress. I also want to mention though, I work for Hawai'i Life. Hawai'i Life has a property management division that does a lot of vacation rentals. And I'm also on very good terms with the owner of probably the largest vacation rental management company on Oahu. And I've been following this bill closely, and I've been talking to a lot of people who are in the know. And so this is kind of where as much information, accurate information as I have right now for you. And the biggest change that Bill 41 does to the rental market is that prior to this bill, which if everything goes back, it's going to become law October 23rd, 2022. Prior to this bill, if you owned a property that was outside the resort district, you were allowed to rent out your property on a 30-day minimum basis. Bill 41 now changes that to a 90-day minimum basis. Now, yesterday, when I was speaking to the owner of this large vacation rental management company, he informed me that his rental coalition that he's a part of, they will be filing a lawsuit next week challenging the 90-day minimum portion of Bill 41. So they're hoping to get that struck down. Worst case, they're hoping to get a stay so people can get allowed to operate 30-day minimum rentals until the court decides whether this law is constitutional or not. So stay tuned. But everything is not all like bad news. One good thing about Bill 41 is that in Waikiki, so the last time that the government changed the vacation rental laws prior to Bill 41 was in 2019. And in that year, they changed the resort district in Waikiki. And when they did so, there was two properties, Waikiki Banyan, Waikiki Sunset, that lost their ability to operate as a nightly rental building, even though they'd been operating as a nightly rental building for years. So in 2019, both those associations sued, and for whatever reason, Waikiki Banyan was granted a stay, so they've always been able to operate as a nightly rental building, where Waikiki Sunset was not granted a stay. And you could only operate a nightly rental in that building if you owned a unit there that also had a non-conforming use permit, also called a nuke, that gives you the legal ability to operate as a nightly rental. But now, once Bill 41 becomes law, both those buildings can legally operate as a nightly rental building. And that's going to bring a decent amount of new inventory to the market. Another positive is out in Olina, which is on the west side of Oahu. If you're not familiar with Olina, it's a beautiful kind of resort-style community. Some really nice, luxurious hotels, nice golf course, some great restaurants. And prior to Bill 41, there was one building called Beach Villas that was legally could do vacation rentals. Now with Bill 41, they pretty much allowed all the communities in Olina the legal authorization to operate nightly rentals. But one thing I want to be very clear is that if you own a property that is part of an association, that association must also grant you approval to operate your property as a nightly rental. So if the government gives you authority, but your association does not, you cannot legally operate your unit as a vacation rental. You need both approval from your association as well as from the government. So just keep that in mind. But Olina, to me personally, presents a pretty unique investment opportunity where currently they can be pretty lucrative investments on a 30-day minimum basis. But if some of these associations do grant owners the ability to operate their properties as nightly rentals, it could be very lucrative. So I'm going to be following this closely, seeing if any associations grant that ability, because that will definitely greatly enhance the cash flow for some of these properties. So if you're curious about that, let me know, and I'll definitely keep you informed as we have more information about Olina. Also on the west side, you have Makaha Valley. There's a newer single-family home development. It started, I think, in 2018 or 1819. They're still building new homes out there, but that is resort zone, so you can do nightly rentals out there. Then also out in Turtle Bay, there's a community where you can do nightly rentals. The side is that if you are perhaps interested in acquiring a vacation rental property in Waikiki, I recommend you check out this video link up here. That video will give you a good overview of some of the best buildings to own a vacation rental property in Waikiki. And that is based on my conversation with the owner of one of the largest vacation rental management companies here on the island. He bases recommendations on guest feedback, his company experience with managing units in those buildings, as well as which units demand the highest rates year round, and which units and buildings really just get the most demand from tourists. So take a look at that. And also, if you like this content, be wonderful if you like the video or subscribe to my channel. It'd be very helpful. Now, back to Bill 41. There's a few other things to discuss. One is that come October 23rd, 2022, you need to register your vacation unit and pay a $1,000 fee. Then every year after that, you have to pay a $500 fee to legally continue operating as a vacation rental. Now, there's some uncertainty here, is that, again, my conversation with the owner of the vacation rental management company, he'd spoken to the Department of Planning and Permitting, who you need to register your unit with, and they had told him is that if you are currently operating a vacation rental unit here on the island, you do not have to go through that registration process. You just have to pay the fee on an annual basis. However, how I read the bill, and as well as this owner reads the bill, is that it seems pretty explicit that any vacation rental property on the island has to go through this initial registration process with the Department of Planning and Permitting. So stay tuned. Once I get clarity on the bill and really the whole policies and procedures, I'll post a new video explaining that. But hopefully this helps. Hopefully you now have a better understanding about the rental market here on Oahu and what Bill 41 means if you're an investor or property owner. If you have any questions, you're welcome to contact me anytime. I enjoy helping people achieve their real estate goals, and I've been a long-term investor myself, so I just generally love talking real estate and sharing that with other people. So welcome to contact me anytime. Thank you for watching, and I wish you well. Aloha.